It's not the morning, so it's good evening from Bozeman. We're getting a little close to sunset, another beautiful day in the Big Sky country. And we're learning Parshas Ekev. And Moshe Rabbeinu is reminding the Jews that God forbid they shouldn't become so arrogant. V'ram levavecha, your heart will become so lofty, so haughty, that you'll forget how Hashem took care of you when you were in the Midbar HaGodel v'Hanoira. You were in the great and awesome desert, a place of nachash, saraf, v'akrav, of snakes and fiery snakes and serpents and akravim and scorpions, and with thirst, without being able to quench your thirst. An incredible, vital lesson on this topic, the how to survive in these last moments of Golus before the coming of the Geula, before the coming of Mashiach. The Rebbe compares the way the Jews were prior to going into Eretz Yisrael in the Midbar to the way we are today in our Midbar, in our desolate desert prior to the coming of Mashiach. And what the Rebbe says is so important for how we need to see the world. Because rule number one of how we fail as Jews is we start seeing the Midbar. We start seeing the place that's a desolate desert of spirituality as Midbar HaGodel. It's so big and powerful. Our Yishuv, our settlement, our place of stable spirituality, our sanctuary, our sacredness, it's not so Godel, it's not so big. But the outside world is Godel, it's unbelievable. And then it goes from Godel to Noira, it's awesome. Not only do I see the world as big, but I see it as all-consuming. It's something to be impressed by. It controls me to the point that it becomes nachash. It says a nachash is arsei cham. The venom of a snake is hot. It gives us passion. And what it represents is that we become passionate about all secularism and all things that are the opposite of Kedusha, of holiness. So much so that it becomes saraf. It ends up becoming a fiery serpent that burns all our bridges to holiness. We're so passionate and we romanticize everything that exists in the world outside of holiness, in the world of secularism and anti-religiosity and the appealing seduction of what the world gives us, that we burn our bridges with Kedusha, we cut ties, we burn the connection. And then it comes to a point of akrav. Scorpions have a cold venom, because what happens is after they suck us in to be addicted to their passion in the world of secularism, they move on. You're not interesting to them anymore. But you've already lost your passion for Kedusha, for holiness, so now you become apathetic. You become cold to all things in life, and especially to things that are spiritual. So much so that you have tzimoy and you're now thirsting for holiness, you're thirsting for water, and you don't even know where to go to quench your thirst. That's how clueless we become. That's how numb we become, that we don't even know where to go to quench our thirst. And therefore, rule number one, says the Rebbe, to survive the Golus, to survive these final moments of exile, is to never give the world of secularism, the world outside of the walls of Kedusha, too much credit. Don't see them as Godel, as big, so you won't end up seeing them as awesome and eventually them taking control of your life. It's a hard avodah, it's a hard job. Don't get sucked into it. The world is a beautiful, incredible world that Hashem created, but the world of anti-Torah, the world of secularism, seems a lot more appealing than it actually is. Have a wonderful evening and stay strong, especially during these summer months when the temptations are rock solid. Sei gesund.